What's up, Hyperdrivers? Today I got a bargain that I found over at Galaxy's Edge. This is a model of the T-16 Skyhopper from the very first Star Wars movie. But was it worth the purchase? We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna go over pricing, where you can buy it, and a little bit of background lore. So let's go.
The T-16 Skyhopper was first created by Colin Cantwell around 1974-1975 for the first Star Wars movie released in 1977. It was actually intended to be the original design for the Y-Wing, but George Lucas later opted to go with one of Cantwell's other designs for that ship. Ultimately, it became the model that Luke was playing with during the droid cleaning scene in the first Star Wars movie. And actually, part of that ship under repair can be seen in the background as well. In Star Wars lore, it stated that the ship had very similar controls to the X-Wing, which is why Luke piloted that ship so easily at the end of the movie. It was only named once in all of the Star Wars movies by Luke when he talks about shooting womp rats in the first film.
That's impossible, even for a computer.
But it's not impossible. I used to bullseye womp rats in my T-16 back home. They're not much bigger than T-meters.
Much later, during the production of Return of the Jedi, Joe Johnston's design of the Imperial shuttle received the stamp of approval because it reminded George of this ship. When George later revisited the original films, he added the Skyhopper in one scene at the end of Return of the Jedi. Also, an earlier version of the ship can be seen during Attack of the Clones when Anakin talks to Padme about slaughtering the Tuskens. And finally, a rebuilt version of the model toy was used in the Kenobi series to connect it to the first film. If you're keen on building one of these models for your collection, the Archives book states that the model was 43 by 17 by 42 centimeters, which works out to about 17 by 6 3/4 by 16.5 inches.
Now this model was only $40 at the park and it's eligible for the pass holder discount, so out the door with taxes was right around $35. So not bad at all. You can find it over at the Bazzar area inside of Galaxy's Edge. Let's pop this thing open and see what it looks like. My lightsaber blade is powerful. It cuts through all boxes. Whoops. All right, so yeah, definitely some assembly is required. And actually, if you're going for like the Kenobi cosplay, you can probably leave it in pieces and just put it in a bag, you know. This thing is really cool. All right, and there it is. This is a really cool model. I was comparing it to the images from the Star Wars Chronicles book to see how close it is to the original studio model, and it looks pretty freaking close. There are some differences that I saw, like in the back engine area here. There are some little things that are different that I saw from those pictures. Also, the ship seemed to be darker on the top part here, on the top parts of the wings, while this remained kind of white. So there may be that. I did look at some other images, some more closer images of these from the RPF, where they're trying to scratch build one, and they were calling out different models that they used to put it together. And it looks really close to those images. So it's possible that this may be modeled after the one that they used in Kenobi versus the one from the original film. But this is a really nice model, you know, especially for $40. I mean, God, this thing looks really good. Maybe a little bit of weathering added to it, even though it does come with some weathering, so that's nice. But you may just, you know, maybe it'll punch it up a little bit with some paint, and this thing could be a killer model for the collection. Let's take a look at the size. This thing is 14 inches, 14 and a half inches tall, about 14 and a half inches tall. It is 16 3/4 inches wide, and from front to back about 8 3/4 inches from the point of the gun to the back here. Now, I know I stated earlier about the model size that was used, and it seems to be really close to what the width of that model was. I was told by somebody who was really into building this model that the model dimensions in the book could be off. So this may actually be a studio scale model. I don't have one here to compare it to, but this may actually be the size of the studio scale model. So that's really cool for 40 bucks. If you're into ships, this is a must buy at Galaxy's Edge. You should definitely go buy this. For $40, you can't beat this. You got almost an accurate look of the ship. You got the pilots in there just like they had in the original model. You even have the stand and the color of the stand that it was in the original model. So, you know, they did a bang out job. Must buy definitely at Disney's Galaxy's Edge if you want to pick one up. That's my thoughts on it though. Let me know what you guys think about this one in the comments below. And until next time, may the force be with you.